language teacher, so it doesn't say, we discussed that the position would be for the middle school students. We discussed that, we were hoping that it would sort of, they would be more included in it as opposed to in the past where it sort of ended before middle school, but it's not going to be strictly middle school.
Okay, I got that.
Okay, great. Does anyone else have any other changes?
Anne Marie, Carrie's last name is spelled wrong. There should be 2 L's instead of 1 L.
Oh, okay. Carrie Jewel should be 2 L's. That's all. Oh, and also underneath budget, the third bullet point, her name appears there as well.
What'd you say, Anne Marie?
Carrie Jewel, she's the same as Vincent
Yeah.
Jewel.
Okay. 2
I've
L's.
seen her name appears twice on here that I've seen.
It's also after the athletic update.
Oh, okay, also after the athletic update. So wherever it says Carrie Jewel, it's in the Alright, any other changes? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from, January 10th, 2023 with those 2 changes? Say aye. Aye. So that's unanimous. Okay, then we have public participation, which I do have, Jessica Brown.
Yep. So Jessica Brown here to talk about some concerns I have regarding our fire safety and intruder safety that's happening at our school. Ms. Marquez and I spoke about this back in December. I'm still concerned that we're not meeting the requirements set forth by the state of Vermont in regards to our requirements. Pretty sure we should have 3 fire drills, 1 more happening in February. I only know of 1 in December that we had, and we should have had 3 intruder drills, and I only know of once where my 4th grader said that his teacher spoke to him in regards to what to do if there was a need. However, my 8th grader doesn't recall anything. So in light of everything that's happening, I think that that's very concerning that we have students in our school that probably don't know what to do come a fire drill and or active shooter, intruder, violence, shelter in place lockdown. So it's pretty laid out by the state of Vermont in a letter. So I just am here to sort of bubble up that concern because I haven't heard of stuff and I think that it is concerning.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then now we have our, are we doing focus on that today? Okay, we have, administrative report, and we'll start off with Brian.
All right. Regular principals report up here. All right, so this is our lead learner report for February 14th. So leader and B classrooms have developed their WIGs, which are their widely important goals. You'll see them as you go up and down the hallway so that they're visible to everyone. And it's great that students and staff are actively monitoring them and adjusting as they go on. So it's great to see. We did our walkthrough yesterday with Christine and Angie. It was great for them to be able to see what the students are doing and how they're progressing on their goals. And it's all the way from kindergarten to 8th grade. So it makes it nice for us to be able to see that. Enrollment and attendance for January 10th through February 14th, our total enrollment is 247, and our average daily attendance is up to 92.29%, so it's up from last month, which is great. And then we do have 4 new students coming in on February 27th. We've already enrolled, so we'll be up over 250. Building community, so we are having those monthly conversations with Chief Smalley regarding fire safety and the unexpected fire drills we had on Friday, which was called out. So we had some puff back from our boiler. And so it was nice to be able to have that happen before school happened. so that the staff that was here knew how to evacuate and what to do, because it's important as well as for our students, but also our teachers and staff to be able to evacuate as well. So it was great to have that. And then I have been in constant communication, and Chief Daniel from the police department did stop by, and we talked about what is going on along the state with the host threats and what our plan is for safety, and the Chief Smalley in those, that information, so that we don't share out with the public, but that much information I can give so that we know that we are being safe. We've been communicating with the town manager regarding our town meeting that is up and coming on March the 4th. We'll be here at Weathersfield School at 10 a.m. So we'll do the school portion first, and then after that, we'll do the town portion. And then he was also a volunteer today in our local spelling bee, and then we have an announcer here for our spelling bee as well. So thank you to Superintendent Christine Moore for doing that. And then we talked about our service award nomination, so that will be presented at our March 4th town meeting as well. So the school got the opportunity to get that out and be able to do that for a community member that's quite deserving of that. So we'll spoke with that person's family, and they'll be here as well on the board to celebrate their award. And then 2 scholarship opportunities to present out to high school students. So we're waiting to hear back from those. So that's exciting for our students that are going on, that have graduated from Weathersfield and now graduated from high school, going on to higher education. And then our town challenge is coming up. Mark Richardson, our librarian at the Proctor Library, they set up the town challenge. It's going to be here on Saturday, March 18th. And we have a Weathersfield staff team, a current student team, and an alumni team. So it's pretty awesome to have all of those involved in that. Our high school fair was here on January 24th. I unfortunately was not here because I had COVID and I was at home and they would not allow me here. But my family did come because they didn't have COVID at that point. So it was great for them to see the different high schools that are available for us to be able to have our students go on to from 8th grade. It was also really nice that we shared that information with Heartland because we are very similar with the K-8. And so some of their students and staff came here as well. And then if some of our students were unable to attend the one on January 24th, Heartland's having theirs on March 2nd, when we come back from break. So students are going to go over there, and they do have some different high schools that weren't able to come to ours, but will be at theirs. So it's great for us to be able to share that across the supervisory union. So there is the flyer of it, some of the schools that showed up. So it's great to have that. Family Steam Night was amazing. So it was here on February 1st. I got to go to that because I was well back at school. We had 125 people, BJ, right? 125 people that showed up. We served taco dinner, taco bar that night. Plus they were able to have the opportunity to play with different STEAM toys and show some of the stuff that we are doing in the Makerspace Lab. And then we also had the Tech Center from Springfield. We had a representative from there who happens to be a parent of ours, but she was able to show off, and the bionic fish was quite popular. And so students got to see and play with those things. And then also winter activities. Winter activities have been a little bit of a struggle. The weather has not been very kind to us. We've actually had to postpone 2 of them. And with the current weather situation, who knows when we come back from break, if we're going to be able to do anything in the snow. We did have one last week, which was amazing. Kids got to go snowboarding, sledding, archery. They got to do swimming, cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. Inside the building, we had arts and crafts. We had Minute to Win It. We also had a dance party. And then we had woodworking, where that's one of the activities that I'm leading, which I'm having fun with that. And we get to build things. And so the kids are coming up. We had a challenge. I'm gonna promote mine a little bit more because I know the most about that one. But we are building, we have teams of 4 kids, and there's three teams, so a total of 12 kids, and we're building lending libraries. And so Home Depot in Claremont donated $250 towards our materials. And then our own board member Mark Emily is donating some other wood materials that we need. Thank you, Mark. And we are building the lending libraries, and then actually Mark Richardson from the Proctor Library and his team are going to come over and they're going to judge them, and then we're going to figure out where we can place those around the town, and then we'll fill those with books that we have here from the school library plus the Proctor Library as well, so that we can promote reading across our town. So we've been doing lunch with a loved one. We decided after our Thanksgiving time, although that was so successful on that day, that we wanted to be able to spread it out. So if a Wednesday worked out better for you than a Tuesday, that you can come in and you can drop in, and so we had a Google form that we sent out to families so that they can sign up for lunch with a loved one. I know I have a parent that's coming here tomorrow, and during our lunchtime, we have several parents, we have quite a good turnout today, but they can sign up and spend lunch with their kid. And then our food service department takes care of that. Upcoming events, we're going to continue lunch with a loved one. Winter break is next week. Town meeting, voting day, board meeting. So we've got lots coming up. It's just been a busy, busy month. I know we're looking forward to the break. Kids are, we are as well. So that's it. And then I'm going to turn it over to Christine. What?
I'd like to introduce Christine. She's now our official superintendent.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm thrilled, honored, I'm excited, and I definitely very grateful for your trust and your faith in my ability to do this important work with all of you. And I'm looking forward to continuing what we've got started. So, thank you. Still recovering. I thought I would sleep last night, but I didn't. I was just too excited. My full report is linked. I'm not going to go through all of it. Some of you have already seen it at the WSCSU board meeting. But I pulled out some highlights. You heard from Brian about the ways that the staff have been working on the kids, and that came out of our January 3rd. This seems like a long time ago, but when we came back from the break, staff were engaged in an all-day leader Core 2 training, which really focused on Core 2, which is 4 disciplines of execution, which is really setting goals and keeping a scorecard and having accountability to those goals. There's one more in that 4 disciplines, not coming to me. And I have to say, although when you ask staff to do things, and really they are doing this, it's really just making it public and really talking about it, there's always a little bit of hesitation because people really want to do a good job, and it's just, change is uncomfortable sometimes. But the Weathersfield staff, I mean, I came in right after that, and they already had their ways up, and they were super creative and fun, and when I come in the building, you can see the progress. It's pretty amazing. So they've taken up a little bite. The SU goal is around foundational reading, because we know that's where our biggest challenge was involved when we looked at the data. So we're anxious to see what we learned from our winter session of the assessment, which we just finished up. So anyway, just kudos to the Weathersfield staff. They just took it on. I'm really impressed with them. We did recently the STAR assessment pilot, which we are hoping to replace TMP with something a little more user-friendly that gives us more information. So the feedback so far has been really positive, and that team, the pilot team, will make a decision on STAR. I'm pretty sure they're going to go with it. That's what it said. So equity audit update. So Insight Education has one more. They've been doing focus group interviews for the last month with all stakeholders, board members, community members, teachers, students, anybody that wanted to take part, central office staff. So they have one more interview to do, and that is with me, and that is next week's schedule. So then they'll complete phase 3, they'll write the report, and then we'll need to figure out how we're going to roll that information out to the end of staff. So, and last, I know, Amber, you've been asking about the building audit, right? And so they're coming. The state is sending out Veritas, I believe that's how it's pronounced, to all schools. Weathersfield is going to have their facility assessment with an energy audit on March 23rd at 12 p.m. and March 24th takes more than a day. So we'll be anxious to get those results as well. And then last, and you're not going to be able to see this very well, it is in the board portal, but I don't know if you recall the last meeting. Well, I can tell you. The quarterly report we didn't get to last time, we were engaged in the budget. But I wanted to let you know that we are black. Projected revenue, 7 million and change. The expenditures are roughly, let's see, 6,862,000. So in the black, $217,542, which is good. So we're on track. But if you are interested, if you have time, you can look at it more closely and if you have questions.
Megan?
Okay, and then I forgot to mention, so our sports season for winter is almost over. It's been a long, productive season for our basketball team and our indoor soccer. So our last set of games are on Thursday, and then they are going to be tournaments when we get back from break. So we just want to thank Carrie and told her she didn't have to come tonight, take a break tonight off. And then our PTOs have been doing an amazing job, and we were talking about prior to the meeting starting, where we had our K-5 family dance, which was really, really good. And we actually had our 6-8 dance. We had both of those on Saturday nights. We had 6-8 one on Saturday night because of in between snow days. We had already had it postponed on the kids, so we wouldn't be able to do it. And then we had it last Saturday, K-5. So we had about 250 people that I were guesstimating. It was amazing to have all those kids there. And have the PTO and to our athletic director.
Also, I think the PTO is, they're selling calendars now.
Yes, for the March Madness,
Fundraiser?
again. So they're selling that, so those are coming out, or they are out, and so they're selling those for that fundraiser we did last year, quite successful. So every day they have a drawing, and you can draw, give that prize, you can just throw back in the box. So technically, you could win 31 prizes if you had with one lucky ticket, but, but it was great to be able to have all those things in the box. So thank you, PTO, again, and our athletic director.
That's the end of my report.
Okay, I'm gonna go
I
ahead
don't
and
know why you're
stop.
stuck there,
That's weird. Okay.
Okay, all right, we're up to items for discussion, and we're gonna go over the budget.
I'm talking to myself, but it's good time right now. People can't hear this time. As long as I'm not answering too much. Go. All right, so here's our Weathersfield School Annual Town Meeting, which will be on March 4th, 2023. So we first have our articles in there. Article 1, to approve reports to school district officers for the period from July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, and that's going to be done by Australian ballot. Article 2, to see if the school district will vote to authorize the school board to borrow money in anticipation of taxes to meet the requirements of the school district for the ensuing year and to authorize the execution and delivery of notes for orders to the school district, also by Australian ballot. Elect all school district officers as required by law by Australian ballot. And then shall the voters of Weathersfield School District approve the school board to spend $7,487,050, which is the amount the school board is determined to be necessary for the ensuing fiscal year. It is estimated that the proposed budget, if approved, will result in education spending of $20,813.40 per equalized pupil. This is projected spending per equalized pupil is 0.86% lower than the spending for the current year. Also by Australian ballot. Then at that point, we go into the presentation, and then we will come back to article number 5. We're going to start off with our goals. So our strategic plan goals are the 3 main goals in our strategic plan: student success and engagement, information and communication, culture and student wellness. So Leader in Me is one of the huge things that we're doing. Obviously, classroom mission statements, I mentioned our WIGs, our wildly important goals, monthly student-led presentations at our assemblies. So on Friday, our second graders are going to be performing and sharing some of the stuff they're working on with Leader in Me. And then we have our Panther and Pride assemblies. Information and communication, we work hard on building a partnership between school and home. We do that with Weathersfield Weekly, classroom newsletter, social media, and our website. And we have been thrilled to offer in-person community dinners. We've had quite a few of those this year. It's a great opportunity for families to be able to get together and work with each other and see each other. Culture and student wellness. So MTSS and winter activities, we use a systematic approach to make sure that all students are an equitable and successful education. We have done that this year by working with teachers on unpacking standards while working on high impact teaching strategies. We meet as teams consistently to look at data and adjust instruction. And then also winter activities have been able to bring a different aspect to our students so that we're doing things they're not necessarily doing on a regular basis. And you get that chance to do it together with some of their friends. That lists some of our winter activities there. Community, students and families. Lots of new things. So this playground back here, we've talked about this before, but this was written through a grant through our Higgs Nichols Foundation. And so we were able to decide to put an additional playground in the back area back there where we can't put a lot because of where the septic system runs, but we've been able to do that. We also work on our students that have IEPs, individualized education plans. And then it kids marketing, help through IEPs and then need other help. So we are Hope to give us emotional support as well as our clinician that we have here at school. We have advanced 8th grade math opportunities for kids. We have students that are getting algebra and geometry at the high school this year. So we transport them to Winter High School and they get either algebra or geometry, which is a great opportunity for those kids. Our food program is amazing. We talk about that all the time, but designed to serve better food for kids. They get still the opportunity for free breakfast and free lunch this year. Our Higgs Nichols grants, PTO funding, the Rise Amplify grant has bought us our exercise bikes that are currently in the office. We're waiting to see who wants them to go into the classrooms, but they have exercise bikes that have like a little table on there. Sometimes when kids just need a break in the office, it's actually handy. We had one today that was pedaling away on it. He needed an energy break, and so he was able to pedal away, get some of those energy out, and still learn at the same time. We were able to bring back 4 Winds, which is that nature-based curriculum that's been here at the school. Pause, which is an after-school program, not a school-funded program, but it serves family and it shares our facilities. Our attendance, like I said, has been up quite a bit, which is great getting kids here at school, even though there's lots of fitnesses going around there, kids are coming to school more often. And then we have those theme-based activities after school hours for families, such as families team night and volunteer time. So things that are new this year at Weathersfield. So we did a welcome back kickoff this year, where we had sort of our open house back to school night before school started, which was really great because it gave families the opportunity to meet their teacher and relieve some of that anxiety that kids have on their first day of school. Even though we're a small school, sometimes kids don't know who the teacher was or haven't been able to meet them. So having that opportunity to teach kids, we had less teachers this year than we did last year. Our makerspace has been a great addition to our school. We've had a couple board meetings in there, so you guys have had that opportunity to see it. And then it also led things to like our family team night. Kids are doing more and more. And then also our Steve Panther in the summertime last year, which is a success. And it's on the books again for this year. Our sports program has been expanded. Lots more opportunities for kids, including cheerleading and indoor soccer. And then we're trying to talk to Carrie about adding a couple more things, but we'll see, because I think she's up to here, so we don't want to overload her too much. Winter activities are back, which has been great. I never got to experience that before. We didn't have winter activities because it was so hot in California. So we didn't really truly get to do winter activities. So it's a great opportunity for kids. Our PTO put on a paw drop this year, which was a huge event. It involved the entire town, including our volunteer fire department, that went out and walked the paws. I was supposed to do it for insurance, which was fine by me because I've been spending a lot of time on ladders. I'm okay with that. We've had our family dance and plus dances with middle school students that have been back, lunch with a loved one, plus our community Thanksgiving dinner, our STEAM night, high school fair, bi-monthly assemblies. So we started our assemblies where we do a K-5 assembly and a K-8 assembly as well. So the students are recognized for their achievements in school, and then they get a prize for the K-8 assembly. High school bi-monthly assemblies. Drama production is back. Little Mermaid Junior is coming up in March. Excited about that. Our student council has been able to be more active. They just sold carnations for a fundraiser so that they can put on the next dance, their spring fling. And then we did our spelling bee today for the school site, and then they'll go on to compete. We also have a math team that is competing. They've had 2 matches. They canceled the last one because of lots of students being sick, but that's getting back on there as well. And then Christmas cards to the accepting house. Just a couple of ways that we're reaching out and sharing. Funding sources, local taxes, state of Vermont education funds, federal government, we get private grants like HIT, Staples, Walmart, Burn Foundation, and Rise Amplify. PTO always gives generous donations, and then we also have just community members, teacher staff, volunteers, and all kinds of programs in schools. All right, supervisory union. Okay, so these are our assessments that we get through supervisory union. So special ed, food services, transportation, administration, and operations, our early childhood program, which although it's not housed here, we do have students from other schools that go to it, and that's at Heartland. Maintenance to help keep up with just general maintenance, and then also curriculum. We're adopting 2 curriculums this year. We're having our math curriculum, and then we're also hopefully going to use our curriculum too. So, and the STAR assessment as well. Okay, fiscal year overview. Student enrollment. This is our projected enrollment as of right now. Kindergarten is always sort of a shot in the dark. We're never quite sure how it is. But with this, because we do have, we have movement, so we're being very conservative in this guess. And it's 245. I don't believe the 4 students that we're just getting are included in that number. But 245 right now, so that's about where we're at right for currently, which is good. And then our K-12 enrollment across board, it looks like we've lost 5 kids there, because we do have 1, we're graduating 1 more senior and have 1 less 8th grader going into high school. So we're currently 245 and then 101 high school for the projected next year for grand total of 346. High school costs. So FY '23, we spent $1,988,054, and then our projected high school tuition based on high schools going up and cost $2,023,785.
How sure are we about those costs, so how much they're gonna go, because that doesn't seem like a lot.
It's not a lot, which is good, and so those are all projected. They could change a little bit. So, and it also
Is that
depends on.
because of the last question?
It's, well, yeah, because we have the 1 less student, and it also depends on where kids are going, because certain high schools are more expensive than others. So if we have less kids that go to a certain high school, then it does save us money. So we'll see. Most do go to Win. I would say about 50% of our kids go to Win. Budget goals for FY '24 is to maintain a staffing plan and program of studies which supports the whole child intellectually, socially, emotionally, and physically, and then to bring forth a responsible budget while meeting educational quality standards. Pretty great budget goals for us to have. And then here's our proposed FY '24 budget. So this is also in this is just taken right from our town report. So it has in there our wages, which went up about 73,000, almost 74,000. Benefits that went up about 80,000. So a difference of almost 12%. Contracted services, maintenance, transportation, all the way down to assessments, and then debt service, which is obviously our mortgage that we have on buildings. So that information is presented to you at the last meeting. Well, right now.
I'm wondering if in the final presentation, it's actually a little bigger.
Okay.
Brian, I think it's how we presented at the town meeting.
Yeah.
This is presenting from the Google Meet.
Yeah.
Last year.
We had in person and we had hybrid last year as well. That was cool. So there, so, I mean, I can magnify it a little bit, but we can also make it.
Yeah, maybe like that.
Yeah.
Just if you notice that it's hard to read on the screen, for people.
Yeah, and I won't make it so people get busy. We can do that. I'll make
Maybe
that
you can
note.
refer to the page in the point too for them.
Oh,
Because it's,
Oh, yeah.
is in the.
it's in the town, yeah. All right, SU assessments, so these are projected assessments for early childhood, from 136 to 182. But early childhood business, food program, and special ed.
At this point, do we want to explain why our customers is on them? Just say like, we have more kids.
We have more kids, so we have a bigger piece of the pie, and we did it with the recommendation, so wages, benefits, which a lot of those are considered people, especially if you're looking at the department that is more staff. Food program, you can what we're doing, that's not a huge one, but yeah.
And then I would just also explain that, however, it's not going to affect our tax rate because, we have more kids, our equalized people.
Numbers went down, and then yep. Okay. Then we'll share on how we address that tonight. All right, here's the big one, tax rates.
Yeah, big.
All right, projected tax rate, so current tax rate is 1.7941, new tax rate 1.6606. So it's a decrease of 0.1335 from last year. So to break it down, so that I understand a little bit better, so $100,000 home, you're going to increase for the school portion of your taxes of $134. $500,000 home, you're obviously getting a little bit more of a break, because you pay more, $668. So we just sort of did three numbers, numbers so that people understand what you're going to save on your taxes on the school portion of the tax. And I just go to questions. Changes?
You'll have to go back.
I'm sorry,
You'll have to
oh,
go
no,
back.
go back to Article 5.
Brian, hit the maximize on your screen to see what those double arrows are to the right or right.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry. I'll fix that. I forgot this page, and I did late last night, so that's my excuse. I will fix that. So I double checked in your last name, so I apologize.
Sorry to cause you.
Yeah, I didn't do it, that made it worse, because it got me out of present mode. All
Go
right,
back and look at that graph and just see what it looks like now. I think when you're presenting here in the meeting from a Google Meet, it's different than when you're presenting without, just from a projector.
oh, okay. So you want me to get out?
No, if you just go, because you can't, you're not hooked to. the-
Yeah, no, that's, I have to do that.
Right.
We can try and see if it shows up bigger, because I think it will, I think you're right, that it'll show up bigger, because the Google Meet screen is smaller, so we'll have the Google going, plus the presentation will be up on there, so we'll do dual, so someone can see it. Yeah. That makes sense? Okay. Makes sense. to me.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
All right,
Does anyone else have anything to say?
you excited?
I'm as excited as everybody's back.
Yeah.
We connected it to what we're working on, that's important. It's pretty clear, simple, so that's.
Yeah, and we tried, and are you guys okay with, yeah?
Go back to Article 5.
Oh, yeah, Article 5, thank you. Yeah, Article 5. And I'm playing, they're gonna mess it up.
Conduct any other business.
Yeah. And then I forgot to put the warning in there too, right? With signatures?
No.
No, we don't?
No, it's in the article, that's the article.
Oh, okay.
That's already in the,
Okay, and then Article 5 is to transact any other business which may properly come before. I'll remember to do Article 5. All right.
Pre-COVID we did, and then the first online meeting we did, that could turn out. The past couple of years. Over. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, oh, yeah, we don't really need the next one, because, we already have ourselves a superintendent, we're not searching any longer. Did you wanna talk at all about
I mean, I can,
process?
yeah, I can address the process if anybody's interested. So basically, a little bit of history, when our previous superintendent tendered his resignation, more or less had 5 weeks to fill the position, which is really truly not enough to do that properly. So the deal we struck as far as on the SU board, we were lucky enough to have 3 candidates that had certification within the district itself. So we decided to promote one of these candidates from within, just because there wasn't time to do the full proper search. And the trade-off for doing things the way we traditionally want things done was that we would do a full standard search after we got out of the weeds and were lucky enough to get an intern that worked for us. So that we did. We had 8 months of you yelling us out, and it was very good. There were 14 applicants for the position. It's a lot of resumes, a lot of references to check, a lot of background. But we went through as a committee and the subcommittee, the search committee had representatives from all 4 buildings. So everybody was represented there, and it was not a foregone conclusion at all that Christine would end up in the position. We did our due diligence, we went through, and there were 3 candidates because the search committee was charged with advancing all reasonable candidates in front of the board for selection. And so we went through and we interviewed 3, one of them. And then because of the way timing worked out, there was only 2 candidates put forward before the entire board, that was Christine. And then the way the timing worked out, we really had to choose to advance one candidate or another. Otherwise, there was a chance, which you don't want to be left in a position where you don't know what you're doing for employment. But everyone who was suitable for the job was also a finalist in at least 2 other neighboring districts that were looking for a superintendent. So that more or less became the rationale behind only advancing one. And just so we advanced the candidate that had the overwhelming support of everyone. The other candidates certainly could have done the job, but it was, and we have the data to prove it, we went through and we rated every candidate. Christine just came out head and shoulders above. So that's why Christine was the only one advanced to be suggested for hiring. So more,
Interviewed last night.
and yeah, it was last night, and she accepted again, and so here we are, with, we've got a 3-year contract offer. Okay, well, yes, so.
Not worried about it.
The SU board, and there's no chance that we're gonna lose you to another
No.
job? Okay, so, and that really was a lot of what, the last minute deliberations, that's what it came down to, because we needed to, in terms of the process, it's kind of secondary, she was our first choice. We first and foremost needed to make sure that the SU was going to have a superintendent. That's a risk that we couldn't take in terms of exploring other options in the timing that we had. So that's pretty much how we ended up where we are. So hopefully the SU chair will bang out a contract, and that's where we are.
And I will have Mark talk some more about the drama club.
Oh, okay. So I believe we're at about 6 weeks out now, and we're starting to get into the tech aspects of it. As far as I understand, the entire show has been blocked, and most of the cast is, all the cast is rehearsing with the audio tracks. So it's not a sing-along. There's a couple of different ways of going about this. One is they provide a performance track where the students can sing with another person singing their part. They've now moved on to the actual show music where it's just the accompaniment. And so that feels good. This is kind of a terrifying process just because we haven't had the experience the last couple of years. It's a big institutional knowledge loss. We've got some very talented and extraordinarily dedicated students. And so now I'm just, over the next couple of weeks, going to be trying to catch the technical aspects back up. One of the things we're looking at primarily, it's really outside my wheelhouse, is the sound system. And we've gotten offers from the community, which we're very thankful for, as far as addressing body mics. So I want to acknowledge publicly that offer and how much we really appreciate that. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we have the infrastructure to support the purchase of those body mics and utilize them properly. So I'm going to be beating the bushes for anybody who can really help out with sound, because we just need amplification for a cast that's so great. And so I can handle the lights and any other set stuff. And then we've got 8 students that are, we're starting on the 27th as far as constructing and painting. They will not be doing any rigging or wiring. I'm sorry. Wants that to be part of the curriculum. I will not be doing that, or I'll be doing that, not the students. And I think that's about it.
Anyone have any?
Just make sure the date is.
Yes, the date, 24th and 25th. 24th and 25th, or is? And are they evening performances, or is there going to be a matinee?
I'm not certain. I don't have those.
I believe Friday is the evening on the 24th, and Saturday is the matinee.
Matinee.
Now, we also have that same weekend, Heartland is having their performance of Matilda. So we're trying to work out a busing situation, I guess, for Friday, that we're gonna try and swap the two
Yeah, so we're gonna,
groups.
so we have a dress rehearsal, we're gonna try to get us over there, or Heartland over here one day, and then us over there one day, once in a while. At least our cats will be able to go over and see. Last year, Heartland did it up for us, so it's like 6 last year, over to see their performance and try to talk about it. We had students that were in it, another student, plus it also stirred.
Right. And if I can just make an observation that these are two ambitious productions for coming out. We went light on this section.
No. Not at all. Go big or go home.
Okay.
I don't think we have any items for action. Okay, and we do have a need, well, let's set the agenda first, because we do have a need for executive session. Set the next agenda, and that is, for March 14th.
Yep.
At 6:30.
I think we need to add on there about, talking about the student, the non-voting member for the school board.
Yeah.
We'll do more discussion on that, at the front of that time.
Okay. We also need to have our reorganization. Yeah, first, we'll start with the.
And of course, graduation, we should have a number for the exact dates.
We're waiting for March.
Graduation. What's the graduation?
What activity?
And, yeah.
Oh, and then you're,
So.
so that'll all be part of your report.
Everyone.
Okay.
I'll follow up.
As far as like, items for discussion.
Anne Marie should have something about town meeting,
Okay,
whatever, or voting, whatever that result comes, so you have
Okay.
it on the agenda to talk about it.
okay, so town meeting results,
That's for discussion.
yeah.
And we had said last, I don't know, in my notes here, determine the board liaison for the council.
Yeah, yeah. Town meeting results.
School safety.
Safety. Okay. Oh, good. All right, I'll take a motion to enter executive session.
Oh, Anne Marie, this
Yeah.
is Becky. Can you read the items? I got reorganization of the board, Vermont School Board and town meeting. Was there anything else on the next agenda?
I can't hear you too well, so let me just read you what I have. So we're gonna start off with this reorganization.
Okay,
Items for discussion, student, school board, a school board rep, school board rep, I guess, I word that, town meeting results and school safety.
okay, I got it.
Okay, great. Okay, all in favor of entering executive session, say aye. Aye. All right, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome, thank you.
No, no, the other lady. Thank you.